Guys, this is Al, and I'm putting together a Bulwark patch 7.0 guide for you guys to set up perk-wise, and I'll talk about some movement techs and kind of showcase what I use Bulwark for and how I survive with Bulwark and stay alive. So let's get into the perks first. All right, so starting off, the whole point of the Bulwark is to be a tank and take a lot of damage and survive. So anything that is survival based around the Bulwark, I usually pick for. I know there's a lot of different builds, like the shock build. I'm just not a big fan of it. I just don't think it aligns with what the Bulwark's supposed to do. So starting off on core perks, if you're going to run a fencing weapon, which I'm going to go over power sword. I like running the power sword Bulwark. Intimidating aura is the perk that carries the Bulwark. That's how you deal most of your damage, is getting parries off, and then gunstrike execute. That's got to pair up with our armor reinforcement, which we'll get into, but this is Bulwark's main perk. If you decide that you're not going to go power sword and you want to go block power fist or block chain sword, then you'd want to switch over to conviction. Conviction is going to be what you want to run, since your block weapons won't proc the intimidating aura, so that's not a useful perk there. Some people will mention that shield bash, you get an extra damage increase. I just don't like shield bashing. It feels very clunky. It doesn't flow well into the moveset. Not a big fan of it. So I'm sure if you're into shield bashing, I guess you could do this, but I just don't recommend it. Moving on to our second column, there's two options that you kind of can interchange here. You can run Armor of Content. It's okay. This is good if you got a Enraged Devourer or Chaos Shoot and Shield and you have a bunch of Minoris around you. This is the only thing that's really going to affect those guys is the reflection off your shield for the Minoris guys. I prefer running the Scramble Targeting. The whole point of the Bulwark, again, is to tank and survive. So when you're in a big group of enemies, you're just going to take 25% less range damage. Again, it's just more survivable. That's usually what I end up running. In the last column here, again, guys, you could go shock build. I don't like it. Again, the shock build isn't survivable. I've never procced the shock grenade and it saves me from taking damage. It helps with the Minoris guys, but again, I just feel like it's not lending you anything to survival here. Sometimes I switch back and forth between Steel Within, where you take 30% less health damage when you're less than 50%. So when you're in a bad spot, you just become more survivable. And then as you get lower in health, the game gives you a damage reduction. So it's giving you a damage reduction on top of a damage reduction. So you can take a full sniper shot with no shields and it will just give you a little bit of a blip loss in health, compared to when you're full health, you'll go down about 3/4. I find myself running armor reinforcement more often though, and I feel like it's more survivable with armor reinforcement. This is going to pair up with our signature perk over here, Armored Advance. So any Majoris interaction, you're most likely going to get back 2 armor segments. So again, you're just pretty much running armor. When you're running armor, you're not losing health. You survive more. So that's pretty self-explanatory there. Team perks, you got one option. It's Advanced Conditioning. You're not going to run anything other than Advanced Conditioning. This is useless. You get more benefit out of your contested health fading slower. It's active all the time. This is only with Extremis or Terminus spawns, so a very small amount of time. And then this is it's just useless. You can get armor back so many other ways. Getting your gun strikes on Minoris enemies. This is the only perk you're going to run for team perks. Gear perks, Purity of Purpose. This is a shock grenade that you place on the floor when you drop your banner. It does a ton of damage. If you're getting overwhelmed with spore mines, not that I would drop my banner just to deal with spore mines, but if you drop this down, spore mines will not hit you inside the banner area. It creates like a spore mine shield because they'll just take damage outside the banner. So that's a kind of a useful tactic I found with that. If you're up on the ledge, like in Ballistic Engine, you got spore mines coming up over the edge. You just drop it down at the edge where all the guys are. It's doing damage to all the guys jumping up on the edge. It blocks the spore mines, and then anybody standing right there is getting the Invigorating Icon heal and getting shield back, and again, just makes the banner a lot more useful. You could run rapid regeneration for a little bit of an armor grenade. I just don't find it nearly as useful as purity of purpose. This column for team-wise, you gotta run invigorating icon. That keeps your team alive. On absolute, their healing is very limited, so this is your only source of healing. When you do use this, though, I see a lot of bulwarks using it improperly. Do not set up individual executes. That's good if only one guy needs to get healed, but if the whole team needs healing, you get the team, you put down a marker, say everyone get here, let me know when you're here, everyone Rogers up, yep, I'm here. You drop the banner down, and then it's their job to shoot something to get healed up. So that way, it might not get everybody fully healed, but everyone got healing off of that, and that's better than nothing. So you should be doing team heals with dropping it down. People shoot back contested health. That's how you do that. Make sure guys have their primary weapon reloaded, and they shoot Majoris enemies. Don't shoot the little Tyrian swans unless you've got a melta rifle or something like that. Then you can shoot whatever you want as long as it's in a big group. And then last over here for your gear perk, I don't like rejuvenating effect. The whole point of the banner is to keep your team alive. So I'd rather just drop down the banner. Guys are hanging out. This is the purity of purpose is protecting them from guys. It's giving them back their shields. It's doing damage to enemies. And then when they're standing in the banner area, they're just doing 20% more damage. So that goes back to they're doing more damage. They're going to get back more contested health. Again, this is better than rejuvenating effect. Again, shield bash wise, I just don't like shield bashing. It's clunky. I don't think it's useful. If you did want to do this though, it's useful for the 10 seconds of no knockback. That'd be the only reason I want to run it, but I just never find myself shield bashing. And lastly, for signature perks, if you're running a shock build, you could maybe do this. Again, I don't think it's worth it. This defensive mastery, you get the instantaneous incapacitate a Majoris or Extremis. Yeah, that might be cool, but your intimidating aura almost already does that. So this almost gives you a execute on Majoris type enemies. It's pretty much doing that all the time. And again, this armor advance makes you a tank. You have armor back, so you're getting armor, you're keeping armor, and then you're able to tank the sniper shots. It's gonna hit your shield. You're not even gonna get staggered because you have knockback resist. You can tank the zone throw green orb shots, so you can have a sniper behind you, tell him, hey, chill up behind me. You stand right in front of him. He's shooting you over his shoulder, and you're shielding him so that way he can get his clean shots off and put those zone throws down pretty quickly. So again, this just makes the Bulwark a tank as long as you have armor. If you don't have armor, you can block those with your shield. You won't take damage, but you will get staggered. So it's still worth it to block. I mean, you want to dodge it, but if you do block it, it's not that big of a deal. You won't take damage. You will get staggered. But again, you run armor reinforcement. This makes you a tank. Pursuit circs wise, overcharge. Overcharge does help the power sword with the power rakes. If you're running the power fist, that's obvious. This is going to give you a big boost. Chain sword, it gives you the boost in full throttle, but that's very situational. I'm on the fence on whether or not I want to keep overcharge. I might end up replacing this with the ammo restore. I might end up replacing this one with ammo restore because we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I have not found it to be that useful. Masterful defense is great. You have to run masterful defense. This is as you're just using your shield, you're blocking range attacks, it's charging up your banner. So playing on chaos, you get one of those terminators with the soul cannon. It just lays into your shield, just stand there and tank it, and it will almost immediately recharge your banner back. You can just watch it fly back up, so very useful. Powerful shot, good one. Range damage increases by 20%. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You have very limited range damage. When you do range damage, you want to do more damage. That's just good. Standard bearer, I've been trying this. I have found it not to really be that useful. So I'm either going to drop overcharge, because I don't know how much it's really helping out. It's probably a small effect, but most likely I'm going to drop standard bearer. I'm going to replace it with this auxiliary reload, so that way I can just keep my ammo up. I do prefer to run the plasma pistol over the heavy bolt pistol, but we'll kind of get into that later on why. And then this rally point, don't use this. Who cares about negative status effects? Anytime I'm facing a sorcerer, I run into their shield anyways to just knock it off. I just dive bomb into it. You see the purple it's okay. You can still fight and kill those guys. It's not that big of a deal. I've never been poisoned or had a KS effect and been like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. So again, never use this. It's not worth it. Resilience would be good as you're prestiging. So if you don't have invigorating icon, so prestige levels 1, 2, 3, 4 before you're level 23. This could be useful, but once you're level 25 and you have invigorating icon, get rid of this resilience perk. It's just not worth it. Getting into power sword. Again, I prefer to run the power sword on the Bulwark. Start at the top row. If you have armor, you do 10% more damage. You run armor reinforcement. You should have armor most of the time, so this is going to be active most of the time. Coming across, after switching sword styles in combat, you deal 20% more damage. I'll get into that. You're going to frequently. I'll show you some movement text here in a little bit on how you are going to switch this, and it's going to be proccing your 20% extra melee damage. So right here, that's 30% extra melee damage, 35%. This is good for Terminus enemies like Hellbrutes, Neurothropes, Carnifexes. You just stay in your speed stance and you keep whacking at them. You're going to get up to 30% for 3 seconds, so you're just kind of building damage as you go. So all in all, you're going to be bouncing somewhere between 35% and 65% extra melee damage as you're attacking, so that's good. I don't know if I've ever actually used this perk, but it sounds useful, kind of, I guess. If you're below 30% health, a power roll hit restores 1 armor segment. I do use power roll quite frequently, so, but I haven't noticed this saving me in any kind of chance. Here's a no knockback thing as you're killing 10 enemies, so you get another knockback perk. So if you don't have armor, then you also have no knockback here. That stops you from being staggered and killed with a triple Majoris sword warrior hitting you, knocking at you. You might get hit by the first one, but you have no knockback, so then you're able to parry the other ones and not just get stuck in a staggered string. Performing light combos, you take less range damage. That's good. That's going to pair up with when you're doing light combos. So again, they kind of work together there. Power Rake deals 50% more melee damage. That pairs with the overcharge, so Power Rake's really doing 70% more melee damage. That's useful. Extremis, Majoris, I think these are the two you have to take here. I prefer to get my health restoration from the speed style stance because it hits more often, so I feel like you get more opportunities to get health back. I feel like I see it be more useful than the power style. I've tried both. I always find myself going back to the speed style. And then I run the 20% Majoris because I feel like it's just more day-to-day useful than just the Terminus. This helps out more. Okay, I run both power sword builds. I bounce back and forth between the plasma pistol and heavy bolt pistol. I definitely think for chaos the plasma pistol is better. It gives you back more contested health and it interrupts the Rubik Marines and then the Terminators if they are minigunning you, if you don't want to deal with a minigun. But now I also want them to minigun my shield, but again, it just does better interrupting and it's better for contested health restoration. Heavy bolt pistol, I will run it for Tyranid missions because Zoanthropes is your kryptonite as a bulwark. The heavy bolt pistol deals a lot better with the Zoanthropes than the plasma pistol will, and it is better for ammo conservation. I think if I was going to run the plasma pistol more frequently, I would want to have that auxiliary reload from extremis kills. I don't need to worry about that with a heavy bolt pistol. Again, it takes a lot for me to run out of the heavy bolt pistol ammo here. Getting into the perks on them real quick. Plasma pistol, you're worried about ammo, so bottom is all ammo. I like the shot to charge up faster. You could go for the energy reserve, so just get more ammo out of that, but again, I think with the other energy reserves here, it sits pretty good, and then it just gets the shot to charge up faster, so you can get your contested health back faster, and just better and all. But you could go either the plasma reserve or the charge shot faster. For the heavy bolt pistol, I lean in towards ammo and headshots. So I pick up the 2 ammo ones down here, and then I trickle up to I want headshots, and then all in on headshots. So if you're doing heavy bolt pistol headshots, This, I feel like, helps put down the zone throps faster. But I don't think really you could go wrong either way. You could do, I think there's one of them where if you do a gun strike, you get a reload. Somewhere around here. I already have it selected, yeah, so after gun strike you get a reload. This is kind of useful. You're going to get a lot of parrying gun strikes off with your power sword. The weapon reloads. It's just a nice, I wouldn't necessarily go for this, but it's just a nice benefit of going to this relic top row here. Alright, and then let me load up into game, and we'll talk about some movement text, and then I'll go through some enemies and tell you just how I strategically approach as I'm going through. I'm just going to pull up Tyranids, and you can apply pretty much the same thing to Chaos. Alright guys, so we're back in Inferno, good old mission 1. So some movement text with Bulwark here. So starting off, you got your 2 different stances. I'm in speed stance right now. You can tell because the sword's not glowing as much comparatively to power stance. So you're going to want to flip back and forth between these 2 stances. Again, you're going to be proxying the 20% melee boost. So again, I'm not constantly doing that. I'm doing that kind of more situational dependent, but it does end up working out pretty effectively. So getting into it. So first off, Power Whirl. I know a lot of guys, I'll see them, they'll ask, hey, how are you doing Power Whirl? I don't think it's very well known. So what it is, it's an attack. You pause. You can wait for the sword to glow or the Bulwark to stop moving, and then you attack again. So it's attack, pause, sword glows, and then attack again, and you get your Power Whirl out. So then the speed will come with time, pause, and then eventually once he stops moving, you don't have to wait for the glow. You can get him just to pause, and then attacks coming out. It's the same thing in power stance. You're going to attack, pause, sword glows, and that's your Power Whirl coming out. Your Power Whirl is very useful for Bulwark because it does a 360 area of effect clear. So if I got guys behind me, if I'm facing a guy in front of me, and I'm getting swarmed, again, like the Power Whirl is going to be great for just getting guys out of there. Okay, and kind of keeping everyone, you're doing damage to everyone around you. It helps you be more survivable. Okay, so that's Power Whirl there. The second thing is when do you use Power Whirl and when do you use regular attack. So again, if I got a group of guys in front of me and it's a big group, I want to be in power style stance. So I'll attack that group. I'm going to dash in. I didn't want a Power Whirl there. But I'm going to dash in. It attacks. And I got it set up for a 3-hit combo. So you do attack, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you notice on attacks 2 and 3, there's a wave that comes out, and that does a distance attack in front of you. So you got 1, distance attack, distance attack. Okay? And then after you get that, it goes back to a non-distance attack, and then, well, just the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so there's you can incorporate power rake into this. So I'll do the attacks, and after attack 3, I will power rake, and then that will skip attack 1 and get me back into attack 2 and 3. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, power rake, 2, 3, power rake, 2, 3, power rake. Okay? You can keep that string going as long as you got guys in front of you. So in the cone in front of you, that's what you want to use for attacking the forward guys. If you do the second power rake, you're going to lose the 2, 3 power rake string. So if you go 1, 2, 3, power rake, you're back to attack 1. So it's better to say attack 2 and 3, so that way you're doing distance attacks in front of you, you're just doing more damage out in front of you, instead of resetting that attack combo. Speed style wise, if I have a single Majoris in front of me, again you're going to dive in, and 1, 2, 3, power rake, 1, 2, 3, power rake. Okay? Again, you don't want to power rake when guys are behind you because it's slow. and it's not doing any damage behind you. So then you're just going to get picked apart in this animation here. You're just taking damage that whole time. So again, if you got guys behind you, you'll dive in. You're attacking, power whirl, and that's clearing out guys behind you, and you're moving away from the guys behind you. It's going to make you more survivable. Switching sword stances. So when you bulwark, you want to be in shield. So if you're sprinting, your shield's automatically up. If you're walking, you need to hold the shield button, and you want to keep your shield up. So get in the habit of holding your shield button. You want your shield out in front of you the whole time. If I want to switch, if I'm running at a guy over here, it's like, okay, it's a big group of guys, so I want to be in power style stance. If I'm sprinting, and then I hold the attack to switch stances, now my shield's gone. I don't have my shield in front of me, so if they start shooting or anything, I'm going to take that damage. So what I want to do is a movement tech, which is going to be your dodge. I'll call it sword switch cancel. So what it's going to do is you're going to combine a dodge, and then immediately after you dodge, you're going to hold your attack button to switch to the speed style in this case. So I see a single guy up here. Okay, I want to speed style him. I'm going to sprint. As I'm approaching him, I'm going to dodge, hold attack, and I switch sword stances. I proc the 20% melee boost, and I had my shield up. My dodge has iframes, so I'm not going to take any damage during that dodge. Okay, that's what you want to do. And then also right there, I did a shield cancel. So if you're in power whirl or any other attack, and you start getting a blue string attack or an orange ring attack, you're going to get into your power world, and then you can just hold shield, and it's going to shield cancel it. Or it's going to parry, whatever you need it to do. So you can parry. Okay, so you can shield cancel, parry cancel, power whirl, any attack that you're in. You can just go to cancel it and then get your parry or shield off as necessary. When you're getting those orange ring attacks, and you're in power whirl or whatever move you want to do, get in the habit of shielding and then dodging, holding shield. So you get your shield up first, and then as you're dodging, it's got to block whatever attack. You might get staggered during that time, but that's okay. You're not going to take damage. Whereas if you don't have your shield up, you just dodge, you could take the damage. So get in the habit of holding shield and dodging at the same time. He kind of keeps his shield out in front of him as he does that. Compared to this one, he doesn't really keep his shield out in front of him. Again, shield out, hold your shield while you're dodging throughout the whole animation. So that way you go right back to shield. Alright, so let me run up on some guys and kind of display my thought process as I approach a group of enemies, and then how I switch between speed style, power style, and power whirl. So in this case, we got a bunch of Minoris guys, so I want to be in power style. So they're all in front of me. So again, I was standing in those thorns right there, but I was getting armor back as I was gun striking and doing damage. I got this group of guys in front of me. Again, I was taking damage there. I just want to hold my shield up as I go through. That was my armored advance right there. You want to hip fire when you take damage at guys. Just John Wick, just shoot him in the chest. Getting the plasma pistol, you're going to do a full charge when you do that. I got a single Majoris over here, so I'm going to switch to speed style. That was my armor advance tanking that orange ring attack. That's why I didn't get knocked down. And then because I have the armor reinforcement, I just got both armor segments back. I'm going to tank the shot. That's the benefit of armor advance. I got a group of guys up here. Again, I want to be in power stance, so I'm just going to slide in. I'm getting some guys around me, so I'm going to power whirl. That guy's behind me, so I want to power whirl. Just go focus on clearing out these guys first. I hear the Northrop getting mad because I'm close. I want to stay back. Looks like we got all the guys cleared out. So he's about to dodge down. Let's switch to speed style. Ouch.
Fresh magazine.
I'll drop the banner down so you can see how much damage it does.
Inserting rounds.
You can see my armor advance was tanking those shots for me. Ouch. I'm getting messed up by the screen shots again. See, I didn't have the armor advance. What I gotta be worried about now is not doing enough damage to Northrop that he's gonna heal.
Fresh magazine.
Alright, so again, a lot of showcases there. The armor advance, you can see I was taking some Northrop reload shots. I wasn't getting staggered, so again, that just helps keep the Bulwark way more survivable. If you had the banner, you don't want to get these executes right when your teammate stabs in the face, and you want to plant the banner and your whole team would get healed off. Okay, so that's going to conclude my quick little Bulwark guide. Hopefully that helps, and then if you guys got any questions or comments, make sure you post down below. Alright, thanks guys.